studio now. Noah, so what exactly does this all mean for Waiguru?
Linda, when it comes to parliamentary committees, like I said, in this case, the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly, the report may sound bigger than the impact it will create. Why do I say so? Because of the way the members of parliament will react to the report and the way they will behave when the report is finally debated. So for once, how powerful or how effective or how big the impact will depend on who is behind the report. Why do I say so? Why now? Why now? Because she has already declared she's running for governor seat in Kirinyaga.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask you, does that have anything to do with the August 8th?
Why now? Is somebody out to ensure that she's not on the ticket? But that may not matter. Why? Because although the Public Accounts Committee reports take precedence over everything else except the presidential address, this debate may not be a Jubilee versus the opposition affair. Why? Because she has burned so many bridges during the probe. She has named so many people left, right, and center. She has accused everybody, some very powerful people in the Jubilee administration. And then when she was a darling of the Jubilee government, she was not a friend of most of the opposition MPs. So this report, if at all debated soon enough, may pass very easily. But it may be too late for this report to affect her candidature for governorship in Kirinyaga.
Yeah, because it's about, what, 145 days?
Yes, and those reports, the impact, the recommendations, they never move so fast. Let's look at what exactly that implies. After the National Assembly debates this report, if it is adopted the way it is without any changes, then it is sent to the committee, or the Committee on Implementation is asked to follow up on implementing the recommendations in the report. Remember, the recommendations are not exactly binding on the agencies like the DCI and the EACC. But if, for example, the MPs are very serious about this report, there is a Supreme Court ruling in Kenya that actually gave powers to Parliament to pass a resolution that could force those agencies to implement those recommendations.
Wow.
Because that ruling of the Supreme Court said that the agencies, although they are constitutional commissions like the DCI's office and the EACC, they are not supreme, they are not above Kenyans, because Parliament is Kenyans, you know? Yeah. So Parliament can actually force an agency to implement a report, to investigate Waiguru in this case, but that may not be so fast. So why do I pour cold water on this particular report?
On what you're saying.
Why am I so skeptical?
Yeah.
Because there are so many reports in Parliament gathering dust on the shelves. The biggest report in the last 5 years in Kenya, of course, is the TJRC report on historical injustices, the Wagala massacre, the killing, the clashes in the Rift Valley, the land clashes, and so on. This report has never been debated. There's somebody who actually filed and tabled a petition to force debate on this, then it never happened. So I'm not so worried about that. I don't think Waiguru is worried either. The Hustlers Jet report was thrown out in 2015, a very big deal in Kenya. People claimed, the Deputy President's office used 100 million shillings to hire a jet just to travel to 4 countries to lobby Kenya. African countries support Kenya's push against the ICC. Then the MPs quarreled, they insulted each other, they fought in Parliament.
Then eventually it was thrown out.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Mumias.
The Mumia Sugar report. That report, before it was changed in Parliament, it recommended that the Nairobi governor, Dr. Evans Kidero, be barred from holding public office. Does that sound familiar? Exactly what we're seeing in the Parliamentary Accounts Committee report.
Waiguru.
They first of all changed that, said no way. Then adopted it, and
with the changes they wanted.
Have you ever heard anything about it? So, Linda, let's move on.
Waiguru actually says this essentially means she's innocent.
I don't think she's worried. I don't think she's worried. But, again, depends on who exactly wants to finish Waiguru. If it is somebody who has power over the National Assembly, this will move very, very quickly. And
Maybe we need to dig deep a little bit.
Yes,
no, thank you. Always such a pleasure speaking to you.
Anytime.
All right, let's move on now. Remember that conversation that Noah has just had about what next for Waiguru is the basis of a big question on